You can choose, when you're installing Windows 10, to select from the following available editions: Windows 10 Home, Windows 10 Pro, Windows 10 Enterprise, Windows 10 Enterprise Long-Term Service Channel, Windows 10 Education, Windows 10 Mobile, Windows 10 Mobile Enterprise. There are some other specialist editions available as well. Choose between 32-bit and 64-bit versions for all of these desktop editions. Bear in mind that 64-bit versions offer the ability to use more memory, include additional security features such as kernel patch protection, data execution prevention, provide for client Hyper-V, which is only available on 64-bit versions, and improve performance. Some features of Windows 10 require special hardware or software. So, for example, client Hyper-V requires a 64-bit version of Windows 10 Pro or Windows 10 Enterprise and a computer that supports second-level address translation. You'll also require additional memory. Cortana is a digital assistant. It uses voice control, and therefore you require audio capability. Continuum. With Windows 10, it's available on a variety of device types and form factors. Microsoft endeavours to optimize the user experience across device types by detecting the hardware on your device and changing to that hardware. This is particularly useful if you're switching between tablet mode and desktop mode. Miracast, enabling you to project Windows to another external device. Touch. Windows 10 is a touch-centric operating system, so implementing a laptop or purchasing a laptop with a touch screen might offer significant benefits in certain situations. OneDrive, allowing you to store data up in the cloud. And the ability to sync your settings. That allows you to move between devices and, for example, move your favorites between versions of Internet Explorer on different devices, or to have your desktop settings synchronized so that you have the same color scheme and wallpaper across your device types. For specific security features, you'll also need some specific hardware features. For BitLocker, Windows 10 Pro or Windows 10 Enterprise, but also a TPM or Trusted Platform module that can help protect against data theft and offline tampering. Most modern computers provide for TPM 1.2 or later support. Device Health Attestation. This allows you to measure whether or not a device is deemed to be healthy according to a setup that you define. To implement Device Health Attestation, your Windows 10 devices must have a TPM version 2 or later. Secure Boot. When this is enabled, you can only start the operating system by using an operating system loader that's signed using a digital certificate stored in the UEFI Secure Boot database. This helps prevent malicious code from loading during the Windows startup process. The requirements of a Secure Boot also include computer firmware that supports the Unified Extensible Firmware Interface 2.3.1 Errata B, and for which a Microsoft Windows Certification Authority is in the UEFI signature database. Two-factor authentication is quite common now. This is a process that provides for user authentication based on two factors: something the user knows, like a password, something the user has, such as a biometric feature, maybe a fingerprint, or a device such as a cell phone or perhaps even a smart card. The requirements for two-factor authentication include a fingerprint reader or a cell phone or an illuminated infrared camera, and then Windows Hello, which provides a more secure and improved sign-in experience. Windows Hello has the following requirement: biometric devices that support the Windows Biometric Framework. Virtual Secure Mode is a feature that moves some sensitive elements of the operating system to trustlets that run in a Hyper-V container that Windows can't access. This can help make the operating system more secure. This is only available in Windows 10 Enterprise. Virtual Smart Card. This offers comparable security benefits to two-factor authentication based on physical smart cards. Virtual smart cards require a compatible TPM version 1.2 or later. When planning to install Windows 10 on an existing device, you must choose between an upgrade and a clean installation. When you're upgrading to Windows 10, you can choose between three methods. An in-place upgrade, which is the preferred method. It's probably the easiest to do. A side-by-side migration. This is where you have a new computer and your old computer, and you migrate the settings from your old computer to your new computer. The advantage of this is that you still have your old computer if you need to roll back. A wipe and load migration. On a single computer, you do a fresh installation of Windows 10 and then migrate the settings. This requires some external storage somewhere to store those settings. There's limited rollback capabilities in this method. When you're performing an in-place upgrade, you must use a supported upgrade path. These are displayed on the current slide. When you're performing an in-place upgrade, consider the following. It provides a simple process which is ideal for small groups of computers. It provides for rollback. It retains all user and application settings and user data files. It retains installed apps, which means you don't have to reinstall the applications after the upgrade. You don't need to provide for external storage during the migration, because the data is not going anywhere. It does not, however, allow for edition changes. So, for example, if you wanted to change from Windows 8 Home to Windows 10 Enterprise. It's only available on supported operating systems, as per the chart we just looked at. It does not provide the opportunity to start with a clean, standardized configuration. To perform an in-place upgrade, use the following high-level procedure. First of all, verify the user's computer meets the minimum hardware requirements. Next, verify that all your applications work. Optionally, back up the user's data files. I'd recommend this. Strictly speaking, it's not necessary because using an in-place upgrade, the data should be retained and migrated across. But I'd want to be safe. Run the Windows 10 setup program and choose Upgrade when prompted. If you decide to perform a migration instead of an in-place upgrade, you can create a clean installation. You have the option to reconfigure the existing disks if you wish. You can upgrade to any Windows 10 edition. However, it is a more complex process than an in-place upgrade. You will also need external storage space during the migration. To perform a side-by-side migration, complete the following high-level steps. Verify that all applications work. Perform a clean installation of Windows 10 on the user's new computer. Install all of the user's applications. Back up the user's data files and settings on the old computer. Restore the user's data files and settings on the new computer. User state consists of the following settings: user settings, user registry, application data, user data, and when you want to migrate these settings, you can use the user state migration tool. This helps with both wipe and load and side-by-side migrations. The user state migration tool is part of the Windows ADK. You perform the user state migration in two sequential steps. First, you capture settings and data with scan state. Then you restore settings and data with load state. You can choose what to capture by configuring the MIG app XML, MIG docs XML, and MIG user XML files. You can also create additional custom XML files. It's important to note the following are not migrated with USMT: local printers, hardware settings, device drivers, passwords, customize icons, shared folder permissions, files and settings if different languages are installed. Let's take a look at how to migrate user state. So I'm on the client computer CL1. Let's just verify that. If I right click this PC in File Explorer, choose the properties, you can see CL1 and it's a member of the Pearson.com domain. So the first thing I'm going to do is map a network drive. I'm going to map drive U to the server, it's called DC1, and to a location where I've stored the user state migration tools. So that I've got something to migrate, I'm also going to create a desktop shortcut for a text file. And if I double click that, I'll enter some content, save the file. So the next thing to do is open up a command prompt. I'll run this as administrator. I'm going to change to drive letter U, which was the drive I mapped to the USMT program files. I'll just verify they're there. They are. And then I'm going to run the scan state program and specify DC1 as the target server, MIGStore as the target share, CL1 as a subfolder, and then I'm going to use the XML configuration files mentioned here to migrate the appropriate data and settings. This is just an example command. The migration process will start, and that will take a few minutes depending on the quantity of data and settings to migrate. So you can see that it's discovered 2 user accounts and a computer account, and it's migrated the user account or the 2 user accounts over now, and it's just working on migrating the computer settings. Okay, so that migration is complete. Let's just take a look on the server computer, and if I open up File Explorer and navigate to the store, you can see that there's a CL1 folder here and a subfolder called USMT, and that's the migrated content file there. The next step is to migrate the content to the new computer. Okay, to complete the process we need to switch to the second client. This is another computer running Windows. I've signed in again as the administrator from the Pearson domain. The first thing I'm going to do is map a network drive as I did before. I'll use the same drive letter U. And those are the user state migration tools themselves. I now need to open up a command prompt. Again, I'll run that as administrator. So one of the things you'll notice is that there's no desktop shortcut for that file. So in the command prompt, I'll change to drive letter U, and I'll just verify the program files are there. They are. And I will run the load state command. This time I'm specifying the same folder location, so the same server, the same shared folder and the same subfolder, and specifying the configuration files and then the required security information to open up the migration store. And the migration process begins. It's discovering the users, and then it will discover the computer and then start to migrate those elements across to this computer. There's not much data to migrate for each of these user accounts, so it shouldn't take too long. And you can see already that the file that we created, the shortcut, has appeared on the desktop already. And now the slightly longer process of migrating the computer settings. So there we go, that process is now complete. In the demonstration, you saw how to migrate user state using USMT.